This is going to be good.
You look like Jeff Kennett, your body language.
Okay. He's played 329 AFL or VFL games.
No, he hasn't.
No, he's played more.
More than that. Played at 2 clubs.
I would say he's played 350
Yes.
AFL,
Well
VFL
done.
games.
Yeah.
Well done.
That's 10 seconds. I've got 5 more seconds. And the first question I want to ask him is he the father or the brother of Jennifer?
Jennifer who?
Well, who is it?
Doug Hawkins.
Oh, thank you. Morning, Dougie.
Morning, Mike. Don, Sam.
Is that
You
short
going to
enough?
answer your question,
Well,
Doug?
what's the question?
Are you the father of Jennifer
Are you
Hawkins?
Jennifer Hawkins' sister or brother? Are you her father?
No, she's my niece.
Well,
she
then
really?
I'd check the stallion or the mare because she hasn't thrown to you.
Can you see Jennifer in me, Sam?
I could see you.
Yeah, we just see me. We had to go there
So,
or not?
Doug, welcome
We've been there.
We've just been
welcome
there.
We just did,
to
dude.
You Can't Be Serious.
Thank you,
And
Sam.
I won't go through all your great accolades, not acolytes, accolades, and you are a protege of the great Ted Whitten. You start off what you'd like to ask, Doug. Maybe we'll address Lockie Hunter for a start. What would he do if he was running Footscray?
Well, I think you said that in the Herald Sun the other day, did you, Dougie? No, you would have left the vice captaincy with him. What would you have done in terms of games and money?
Well, he's been fined. I mean, obviously now with the 4 cars that have been skittled.
That's not a fine.
Well, he's got to pay it.
Yeah, but it's not a fine.
Well, you're asking me about a fine, are you?
Don and you are going to have a great conversation. You've got not one proper pronunciation of any part of the
Thank
English
God you're
language
here, Doug.
between you.
Thank God you're
I
here.
did, Donnie. Now, Mike, on a serious note, this is a serious situation with the young Hunter.
You played with Mark, didn't you, his
I played
father?
Mark, great family, terrific bloke, Mark Hunter, his wife Colleen, sister of Mark and Jared McVeigh, who played with Essendon and Sydney. Jared, I think it was, number 3, the bald-headed bloke.
yeah.
So and she played for Australia herself at La Crosse. So they're a great family. And Mark Hunter's a great mate of mine as well. And not the fact that the young bloke wears number 7, which I
Made famous
take
at
into-
Footscray.
by Charlie Pagnocolo.
Came from Werribee, Charlie.
He did, Charlie.
Yeah.
Did
No, I
you
think-
wear 7 at Fitzroy?
No, I wore 3 at Fitzroy after the great EJ. But going back to the question, Mike, I think it's going to cost him, what, 200,000-300,000, wherever it's going to be. I don't know what the figure is. Now, he'll get fined from the club, and it'll be probably, what, $5,000 or something, 10, I don't know, $5,000. But he should not be suspended for any games.
Aha.
Because he's already missed how many games? What are we in now? What month this? This is nearly May. He's already missed a fair bit of footy.
No, no one's playing.
But I'm saying he has.
So everyone's been suspended, Doug.
I'm saying he has.
The whole
I'm
season.
saying so he doesn't get 4 or 6 weeks out of 17. If we do come back,
240 blokes have been
we
suspended.
may not even come back and play this year. We may not. But if we come back and play 17 games, why would you rub him out for 4 or 6 weeks or 6 weeks, what it may be? He's already missed games, so he's not going to be rubbed out. I'll just give him a fine.
Dougie, you know I love you. But
Is that making sense, Mick, or not?
No.
It's making no sense.
Well, he hasn't already missed games. There's no games to play.
No, but Mick.
You know what I'm trying to say, don't you?
The argument
Don
about
does.
penalising the side
No,
as
that's a
opposed to
different
the
argument.
individual.
Dougie's saying he's
Yes,
already
I know.
missed games.
I'm trying to ease these two into a logical conversation, Mick.
Well,
Don't
just wait.
bamboozle
If you
them.
shut up, we will have a logical conversation.
So anyway, to answer the question, I think he'll be fined by the club. I was happy for him to keep the vice captaincy because that's what I'm an old-fashioned, I'm old school. When someone makes a mistake under pressure, which he obviously had been,
Pressure?
his mental health's not that great apparently. I don't know that. And he made a rule.
On that?
What's that, Sam?
Are you an expert on mental health?
Not really.
No, none of us here are.
No.
Don certainly isn't.
No. But he made a bad decision. We all know that. So
That's right.
So I said he keeps his vice captaincy, and the club should make a decision, not other people. I mean, the coach, leave Bevo out. Bevo's a fantastic coach, a terrific bloke, hard-headed. I love Bevo, but I'd hate to be the coach having to.
Not a knee-jerk reaction to what's going on. Just calmly and rationally have a look at it and then move on.
Okay,
Now,
let's so no matches from Dougie, no matches from from Don, no matches from you.
Correct. Now,
Okay.
What about you, Mike?
Not for the first time. I'm one out.
but that's fine, Mick. That's why this is a great forum, because we all have diverse opinions.
I think I would give him 4.
Okay.
I know it affects the footy team, but he's got to wear the responsibility for that.
Now, Doug,
Can I ask a
I was
question?
just going to say he's probably one of the most loved footballers in the country. He's a star, and Don, go ahead and dissect his whole persona and ask those questions that no one else would ever think to ask. Get that
Bloody
fucking phone off.
I understand I'm popular.
Got Jeff Kennett. Jeff, is it?
So, Doug.
Doug, you're a player that fascinated me when you started because you had all this ability, but there was a lack of application. Number one, will you shut up? Number one, you could go left or right foot, which was very uncommon when you started. Where did you pick that up from? Did you actually practice, or did it just come naturally?
Don, I was probably, I wasn't actually a very good on my left-hand side. I wasn't a great left foot kick. And it all started back at Braybrook Footy Club. Our coaches back then were well ahead of their time, Donnie, and they instructed us at the Braybrook Footy Club that we needed to kick both sides of the body, handball both hands, and if you're good enough, bounce the ball both hands.
So you were 18 when you made your debut at Footscray. So what age did they start ramming this into you?
This would have been probably under 13s, under 15s. So I'm going back to 73, 74.
So by the time you were 18, you were proficient.
Oh, yeah, I could kick both feet.
Doug, if you can't handle these
180%, Don.
hard-hitting
180%.
questions, just if you can't handle these
Would
hard-hitting
you shut
questions...
up? I'm trying to have a conversation.
No, Don, I could kick both feet without a problem. And my first year was back now in 78, which is now a long time ago. It's 42 years ago. 42 years ago, Donnie. And I'll never forget, just very quickly, I've got a story about yourself, and I'll never forget it. And I was only a young kid. As I said, I was 18. And we were playing Hawthorn, and you and Gary Dempsey lined up in the ruck, and it was just two blokes. We were just going to actually kill each other. And I could hear yous and you're puffing and up on both yous. And I'll never forget it. The first bounce, you may not remember this, Don, Dempsey put his knee into your guts. He jumped a bit higher and hit you in the guts, and someone had scored a goal quickly. And I said to myself, I've got to watch this next bounce. I've got to watch this next bounce. And I reckon I was playing on Jeff Ablett. Jeff Ablett, he's a mayor of City of Casey. He's still the mayor of City.
Not anymore. Not anymore,
He's a mayor, isn't he?
Oh, haven't you read the papers?
He was the mayor of the city. I met him up there.
You might have to go visiting him sometime.
He's not the mayor anymore, City Casey?
Oh, he's under investigation, I think.
Oh, okay. Well, look, leave that alone.
Nefarious, Doug.
Well, I met him there a couple of years ago. So anyway, going back to that, Jeff said something to me, just watch this bounce. And used two blokes just fair dinkum were screaming and yelling. And I'll never forget that, Don. This is back in 78. Were you still playing then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope so. You've
We
just
won
told
a
a story about
we
it.
won a premiership in 78.
You did too. And I reckon Jeff would have played in that. He would have played in your 76, and he would have played in your losing one against North in 75. Is that right? He would have played 200.
done.
Would he play 200, Jeff Ablett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Dougie.
Hang on. When did you mature as a player? Because you were a loose cannon early on. And what brought around the maturity?
Maturity for me.
Yeah.
What do you say, mature?
You know what I think? I think maybe after 85, we got beaten by Hawthorn by 10 points in the prelim final. I was 25. Mick Moldhouse was a coach. And I thought after that, but in saying that, Don, I did my knee in 86. And what I had, which we didn't know about back then, was a depression. I was depressed. I didn't know it. My footy career was over. I lost my job as a truck driver at Kinnears Roads. My fiancée left me. My whole life had turned upside down.
You hit the piss?
Oh, did I, Mick? Did I hit it? I mean, I've always loved a beer, and that was my out. That was my out, was drinking alcohol to just forget about all the issues and problems I had. And Gary O'Sullivan, the club, Sheahan O'Sullivan put Gary to live with me for 2 weeks to try and control me and help me. And I didn't know what depression was back then, and we didn't know what it was. But I actually had it, and I didn't know I had it.
Now, if you're just out...
So hang on, Joe. Just hang on.
So I reckon I matured probably a bit later, late 80s when I met Raylene. my beautiful Hundale, sweetheart.
If you're just out walking with the earphones on, welcome back to Mastermind. And we're speaking to Don Scott and Doug Hawkins. Go ahead, Don.
So answer the
The other thing that
late 80s, Donny, late 80s. I think I pulled slow down a fair bit, and when I got made captain in 1990, when we're going to merge with Fitzroy, Terry Wheeler made me captain in 1990, and I reckon that was something that I always wanted to do, but never got the opportunity to do it. And I reckon that helped me a lot too in 1990, and I'm 30 years of age.
Actually, that surprised me that you had a year off with that knee, because I thought you were remarkably durable. You played, 17 seasons?
18.
18, and you played 350 games. That's averaging nearly 20 games a season.
I missed 24. I missed 24 games.
That's just fantastic.
Yeah. And I missed 10 in 1980 with a knee injury as well in 1980. So it's about 35 games I missed from a knee injury.
Don, let us know if we're not giving you any time to ask some questions, because this is your forum as much as Mick and
I'd
I.
rather talk football than listen
Of
to
course.
you idiot.
No, but don't let us even think of asking
Because
questions.
you can't talk football.
Dougie,
Well, we can't talk, period.
Dougie, do you regret going to Fitzroy? You played
Why did you go?
21 games at Fitzroy and got to 350. But did you go, A, with the right motives, and B, should you have gone?
Well, I got sacked, Mike.
Yeah, at the Bulldogs.
Yeah, end of 94 after I broke the record of the great EJ.
Yeah.
7 weeks later, I get called in at the end of the season. We got knocked out in the finals in 94 under Alan Joyce. I got called in thought I was signing my last year of a contract. And you know what? We all know this. When you don't see it coming, hits you straight between the eyes. Well, I didn't see it coming. So I thought I was going to play again, and they said my time was up. I was too old, too slow, and I was finished.
Who was right, you or them?
Well, I reckon I was right, because if you look back to 95 at Fitzroy, I played 21 out of 22. I got 6 Brownlow medal votes. I finished 7th in the best and fairest, and my footy was pretty good, considering the side were very, very young. You had to go get your own footy. You weren't able to get it given to you. And at the age of 35, on my last legs, I thought I did a very good job, Mike, at 35, yes. And I have no regrets whatsoever. You know why? I love playing footy.
Yes,
because someone says you can't do it, Sam, doesn't mean you can't do it. Where I come from, Braybrook, if someone says you can't do it, that's a lot of shit. It's a lot of crap.
Now, we've all had our differences, Don, with our clubs for various reasons, but you could not excuse the Footscray side in those days, Western Bulldogs, for at 35 years of age and after 329 games saying, well, probably done, Doug, you've been a great servant and you've been fantastic. I think that's about it. You couldn't blame him for that attitude, could you? Or could you?
Not at all. No, you're right, Sam. I'm 34 and I'd been played off the bench. You know, the week before I broke Ted's record, I had 2 kicks and 1 handball against Richmond, but I was played off the bench.
It seemed as though you were criticising Footscray for letting you go and not signing you up for another year.
Well, Sam, I was actually bitter and I was actually gutted that the club made that decision. But they have every right to make that at my age. Mate, don't forget, in 82, I had a chance to leave. I had a chance to go to Essendon.
Yeah.
And I could have easily, at 22, gone to Essendon for more money and probably played in 5 grand finals, 3 winning grand finals, and I stayed a Bulldog because I was loyal.
Doug?
And I love the club, and I love my teammates, and I'm very, very passionate about the footy jumper. So, and all of a sudden, here I'm at 34, and they have every right, Sam, you're right. They have every right to give me the flick. But I was the reason why I continued to stay, I was going to go to Port Adelaide. I rang Brian Cunningham, who's a CEO.
You rang him.
I rang him. I rang Brian Cunningham. You can ask him. Bucky Cunningham. I said, listen, the reason why I want to come to your club is the fact you're playing finals. I never played in a grand final at senior level. I played him in all my juniors at Braybrook.
Of course.
So why wouldn't you go there and play a successful team, which they were? I'm a good mate of Timmy Ginevers, was the captain. He played 300 games with Port Adelaide. So anyway, I'm going there. And then out of the blue, I run into Johnny Burt. Remember the great Essendon Johnny Burt, Donny, from the 60s, Sam? You would have played
number
against
11 for Essendon.
Yeah, and he actually coached Footscray under Bobby Rose. He might have been the second coach back in the mid-70s.
Name drops.
I ran into Johnny Burt at a Collingwood function. And he said to me, "No, I'll never forget this."
What were you doing at the Collingwood function?
I was a speaker there or something, guest speaker. I was a guest speaker there. So anyway, he said to me, "What are you doing with your footy?" I said, "I'm going to Port Adelaide." He said, "What?"
What year is this?
This is 95. And I said, well, I want to play in the finals and I'm going to go to Port Adelaide. He said, would you come to Fitzroy? And I said to him, no. I said, listen, Johnny, seriously. He said, listen, 9 o'clock on Monday morning, I will ring you and I'll tell you what our plans are. 9 o'clock, my phone rang and it was John Burt. He declared to me, we're going to get Bernie Quinlan, who's going to coach our team, straight out of the media, and I'm a good mate of Bernie's, as we all are.
Oh,
fantastic
Don is.
Bloke. Don's a good mate of
Oh,
Bernie's.
my word, they're
What do you mean
inseparable.
you're not, Don, eh?
Like Bill and Bub, the flower pot men. Bill and...
You're not good mates with Bernie. Okay. Well, anyway, I was. So, anyway, there's a tick, Bernie Quinlan, and the other tick was 12 games at the Whitten Oval. I know that ground back to front. And deep down, I'm still dirty on the Footscray Football Club for sacking me.
Who sacked you?
Well, I reckon it was a combination of a few people.
Yeah, but who delivered the guillotine?
Well, I reckon, look, Alan Joyce had the history at Hawthorn getting rid of the blokes over 30. Yeah, Airsy and Dipper and Dermot and these of Co at Hawthorn. I reckon the president back then was involved.
Who?
Peter Gordon. He wasn't happy with me because at the start of 94, I wouldn't sign a contract and take a pay cut. I wasn't prepared to do that. And through my solicitor, Graham Bloom, who's a mad bulldog, and he was my manager, he said, Doug, he's not taking a pay cut. He's earned everything that he should get. The Chris Grants and the Leon Camerons and these types can wait. And I reckon Peter was dirty on the fact that I wouldn't take a pay cut. And Peter might have been a part of it. He wasn't in the meeting. It was Dennis Gallenberti, the general manager, Gary O'Sullivan, and the coach, Alan Joyce.
How'd you cop it? What did you do? Did you just leave the room or did you tip the table up?
Yeah, threw the toys out of the cot.
No, I said, boys, I think I'll go home and speak to Hundale and log back here Monday and we'll just work our way through it. I said, no, listen, I think I should make that decision about retiring, not you people. I've earned the right to make my own destiny, not be told that I'm all over.
So, Doug, you then finished. There's plenty to more talk about your career, but just I want to get onto this indirectly. You said you came on the Footy Show, and you were on the Footy Show the day Ted Whitten passed away, I believe. I think I've got that right. The news came through. Eddie announced it, and you were on the panel, were you not?
Correct.
I got that correct?
Correct, Sam. Correct.
And that must have been, it's pointless to say this, but a body blow to you specifically because you revered him. Now, just tell us about that night.
Yeah, you're right, Sam. It was
in English.
Yeah, it was 95, which is now, he's been gone, Teddy, now 25 years. Can you actually believe that? That lap of honour against South Australia at the MCG was 25 years ago. No, Sam, I remember very clearly. It was the last break. It must have been around 10:30. And then Eddie come across in the break and said, listen, we've got some bad news. EJ's just passed away tonight at some stage. And then all of a sudden, Eddie comes back. He makes the announcement. He goes to Sam. Sam, you struggled, Sam. You struggled to say, he didn't say too much at all, to be honest, if I can remember now.
No, we wanted people who were more intimately involved, like you, to speak.
And then he chucked to me, and I just couldn't. I just said, I love EJ, and I knew he was real crook, but I didn't know it was that bad.
Are you disappointed you didn't go to the MCG, the state game when he did the lap of honour?
Yeah, I was. Mike, I was disappointed. Yeah, I was. I really was. Because
you should have been there, shouldn't you?
Sorry?
You should have been there.
Yeah, I should have been there.
Why should you have been there?
Well, when I say should have been there, I one of my biggest regrets in my life, I didn't go and see Ted when he was crook. And, I didn't want to see him, the shadow of the bloke who I knew was the handshake and the big, strong EJ, going knackers. And, I didn't want to see a bloke who's had a stroke, half blind and sick. I didn't want to do that, but I regret now not. And I spoke to young Teddy, and I said, no, I'm not coming to see your dad. I'm not going to see your dad like that. And
but wasn't it more about EJ than you?
Yeah. I should have went to see him. I should have went in and said, EJ.
I'm empathetic towards what you're. No, I'm
sympathetic, Don.
Empathetic's okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying why though.
No, I understand what you're saying. You remember a person in a certain way.
Yeah,
but
exactly, Donnie. And I didn't want to, but I regret it now. I regret it when I look back. And I thought Ted was pretty crook. Young Teddy said he don't think he'll make the MCG, but he got out of his sick bed, got a haircut and everything. And bloody went to the MCG to say goodbye to the people, not of Victoria, people of Australia. To say
Where were
goodbye.
you?
I was up, took Raylene and my kids, my 3 kids up to Rich River, up there, and I went up there for the weekend. And I walked in at about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I walked in and the kids were coming in behind me. I'm standing there crying. I'm watching the TV and there's EJ doing a lap on TV.
Very emotional day. That was.
I should
in
have
the
been
box.
there. I should have been there.
You and I were in the 3AW box
That
that
was
day.
a very emotional thing, Don. Wasn't it? Well, why wouldn't you?
Well, I wasn't there.
No, I'm not. This is not a
You
criticism.
were there, Don.
I wasn't.
Now, Don, this is not a criticism at all for you and Doug, but maybe Mick, we went and saw
We did.
3 people that we know well, Stephen Phillips,
Yep.
who was on his deathbed, Tony Charlton and Alan Jeans. We went and saw him, those 3 people, because they were friends of ours, and maybe in the last days of their lives, they might like to see, just have around them people who they think are
Who they
feeling
like.
for them.
Yeah.
But so I don't understand why you wouldn't go and see someone who is a friend, but that's the way we are. You have a different opinion of it, Don. Gone. So, all right. Well, now, the reason Doug is here also is that next week, I think, Doug, you turn 60.
Yeah,
you not?
yeah, that's right, sir. Yeah.
And he has had
Can you believe that? 60.
a diverse and lateral career. He started on the Footy Show and he has done a tremendous amount of things. He has stood for Parliament. He stood
Clive Palmer. I was part of Clive Palmer.
You're joking.
2013,
you don't mind that, Don?
he stood
Surely.
for the United Party
Yes.
under Clive Palmer. And I want to know what your platform was when Clive said, Doug, we want you to stand for the United Party. What was your main plank in your platform?
I wanted to reshape the Constitution of Australia. I had
In
a
what-
dream. I had
in
a
what
dream.
regard?
I had a dream I was going to be a senator, Don, and Clive asked me to come on board, and me and Barry.
Barry who?
Me and Barry Michael.
Barry Michael.
Barry Michael number 1 on the ticket, and Dougie Hawkins number 2. So
Doug.
he had a couple of heavyweights, Don, pushing his way in Victoria.
And Glenn Lazarus in Queensland.
Correct.
He got in.
And Jackie Lambie got in Tasmania.
Oh, you're
Sam
right.
knows Jackie. You know Jackie Lambie, Sam?
I do, Doug. Not intimately, but I know of her.
Who was your campaign manager, Dougie?
I had a bloke. You're not going to believe this.
Kappa?
No, not Warwick. No, not Warwick. His name was Wolfgang Macamboli. He lived in Braybrook, and he was a very good operator. He worked out of his bungalow.
What did you say, Doug? Please?
Wolfgang Macamboli, his name was.
Wolfgang.
What is he, German or?
Oh,
He was
no.
French.
Oh, jeez. This is getting better.
Now, Doug,
Are we on air here? Sam, we on air? We're not on air, are we?
could you do us a favour, Doug, before I forget?
Yep.
Could you pronounce the word ASK for us? Just could you pronounce it?
Pronounce what?
ASK.
Ask.
Shut up.
Arcs.
Fuck.
Arcs? Arcs.
Doug, I could just think of your ass and then put a K on it. Ask.
Ask.
Good boy,
Thank
Dougie.
you, Doug. Now we're getting
There's
somewhere.
nothing wrong with the way I say ask.
No.
Arcs? Arcs.
Oh, well, Dougie, I'm going to ask
No,
you
it's
something. I want to know, when you said, I think you said this to me on open mic, I got the impression that you were really regretted being, in your words, the goose on the Footy Show.
Well, it was good for me and it was bad for me. Now, and it all swung around one night. The night Sam were on there, and I couldn't say manure. I'm going manure. Sam knew I couldn't say it. He knew in the green room we're having a bit of a warm up, and Sam said, "Now, Dougie, down at Nauru, what do they make on the island down at Nauru? They're your major sponsors at Fitzroy. You should know this, Doug." I said, "Sam, they make a lot of mamua." He said, "What?" I said, "Mamua." And I went, oh, here we go. First question comes thrown out. It's going to be that. So what I did, I rehearsed for 45 minutes. Don, this is fair dinkum, and I nailed it. Manure, and I nailed it. But when that red light went on and the pressure of millions around Australia watching me, I actually shit myself. I said Mamua, and Sam went, say it again.
So, Doug, you say that you, Mick's inference is he took exception to being made a fool of. Mate, no one made a bigger fool of themselves for 25 years than me. This is the way it works. And then you decided to go over to Live and Kicking, and you said, I'll remember this, you said, I want to be taken seriously, and I tuned in just to see me old mate the first time you're on Live and Kicking, and the first thing that they got you to do was stand on your head and drink a pint of beer. And I thought, holy shit, there's a man who's taken himself seriously. It was a yard of beer, as a matter of fact. I don't know how you could stand on your head and drink a yard of beer, but that was your first assignment on Live and Kicking. I thought, yep, he's gone to the next level.
No, it wasn't a good choice, Sam, I must admit. It was. No, then the next week, I lit a cigarette off the hairs of my chest. But anyway, that was even smarter. Why didn't I say no? But anyway, Sam, going back to when I said Mamua, right?
Yeah, you wrote a book about it.
Correct. But in the break, you come over and you said, yeah, I'll never forget this, you said, that was gold. That was just, it's about ratings, it's about theatre. Don't take ourselves seriously here.
That's it.
We're going to have some fun. That's what you said to me. And I just went, I don't care what I say or how it goes or how I come over. We're going to have fun. We're going to have ratings and theatre. It was all theatre. Sam said it's all theatre. It's about ratings. Dougie, that was just gold. That was magnificent. And I just didn't care after that.
Yeah, that's not true. You told me you did care.
No,
you
I
said
didn't
you
care.
didn't want to be seen as the goose on the footy show.
No, I was sick of being the court jester to a degree. This is how good of a judge I am. I thought the footy show was struggling at 97. When I left it in the 97, I thought the footy show was struggling. I thought my role was getting a little bit stale. I felt I was getting stale. No. And I wanted to go across, and it wasn't all about Live and Kicking. It was, you saw that show, Don?
No.
You didn't see it?
No.
Have you heard of it?
No.
You heard of Channel 7?
There was another show too.
You worked for him. Yeah, we did the game. The game, Sam. The game was good. The game was good. Dermot, and by the way, Piggy Dunstall was a terrific host. He did a fantastic job. Dermot come across from Channel 9 to do the game. To do the game.
So what, you three were from Channel 9 on 7?
Yeah, but it was a mass exodus, Don.
Me, Piggy, was involved. James Hurd, the late Paul Couchy was involved in it, and Andrew Starton, who took off Sam.
All right.
He come across, and Harvey Spielberg.
Spielberg?
In relation to Steven Spielberg. Harvey Silver. Harvey Silver went across from 9 till 7, and he said, Hawk, we're doing a new show. My manager was Ricky Nixon.
Yep.
What was that?
No, good.
Ricky was my manager, and he wasn't keen on me, first of all, playing footy at Fitzroy, but that was another story. But he was my manager went across the 7.
So, Doug, so you're turning 60, if I can come back to this.
Yeah.
I was just interested, please, only just briefly, with Clive Palmer, I just was interested, what were you trying to change the Constitution to do what? Just quickly, that's all I'm interested in knowing, just quickly. The Constitution, what were you trying to do with it?
I was just trying to change the boat smuggling, the boat people coming into
immigration
Australia.
And the boat
I had an idea how to do that.
What, bomb them?
And I was very keen to get involved in carbon tax, which was very close to me as well, and looking after the people who...
Carbon taxes, what are you...
Will you shut up, Johnny? I'm trying to at least being sensible.
If I could be serious for a minute. And then I wanted to help people with their bills, with their gas and electricity bills. And I know how people have been affected back then. I'm going back now to 2013.
I know.
And I'll be honest, I just had a dream I was going to be a senator and a politician, and I thought, well, why can't I? Why can't I? There's a lot of gooses in there, a lot of, I'm not saying I'm a goose, but there's a lot of people in there who got no idea, Mick. They wouldn't know about the people that are struggling and battling and who live in their cars and stuff. They wouldn't have a clue, some of those people.
Well done. Now, so then
I was going to reshape the Constitution.
In another facet of your life, you were a judge on the Melbourne Queer Film Festival.
What?
It says you were a judge on
Where does it say that?
On your Wikipedia.
It's on Wikipedia.
Wikipedia. I'm wondering what you were a judge on the Melbourne...
That is fair income a load of crap.
Is it?
Sam, you're making that up.
No. You were this is what Wikipedia said. You were a guest judge at the Melbourne Queer Film Festival.
And we're wondering what
that is whoever wrote that
qualifications-
should be embarrassed. Who has the right to put that on my
Well, there you are. I'm glad we cleared
autobiography?
this up because it's going to ask you what
Autobiography?
your qualifications
Not your autobiography, because
What is it?
you would have written that yourself. It's just your biography.
No, who put that on there?
Well, we don't know, but I'm glad we've done
That's
that.
not correct,
because
Sam. Just,
we
can you
went-
get that off it?
Can I get it off it? We will. So we've decided.
Dismiss
We've
that,
realised that is erroneous, and I was going to ask what qualifications you would have had to judge someone who's queer, but obviously you weren't on it. So and then it says here, tell me if this is true, and I want to know what the qualifications for this are. It says you are the father of the year in 1998. What qualifications do you have to be the father of the year?
Yeah, it
be able
was.
to-
No, it was. But I'm a very good father. My
I know,
kids.
Doug,
but
you're
you
a
didn't
very
s-
good father.
Yeah,
I'm just-
and I'm a magnificent husband to Hundo.
No dispute about that at all. But is it about how do you become a father? Of just
Well, I had
have to
3 kids. That's
copulate?
how my wife had
right,
3
just
kids.
Good, you're good at copulating.
What's that? What do you say then? Don,
No,
what was
maybe-
that?
no,
What do you
You're
say?
good at rooting.
No, but anyway, I followed. I
You're a very
followed.
good man. You're a very good family man. I'm not.
I followed a bloke before me. Was your mate
Who?
Neil Mitchell? He's your mate.
Yes.
Yeah,
What
that's
do you
all right.
say?
Was
You
he
followed-
Father of the Year?
He was Father of the Year. Yeah. What's his claim to
to
fame?
fame.
Father of the Year. Why would he be Father of the Year?
Well, I was just.
Why would he be that?
I was just more or less getting into the fathering side of it.
Oh.
We've all fathered children, but Don, you've never been asked to be the father of the year,
Never.
have you? Of Mick?
Have you been Father of the Year, Sam?
No, Christ, father of the year. No, I haven't been. No.
What else is there in Wikipedia? Johnny?
Hey, you had a guest appearance on Hey Dad.
No, I never done that.
Oh,
Were you a torchbearer at the 2000 Olympics?
Correct.
Why?
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 What do you mean? Why? Well, Channel 7 ran it,
Oh, okay.
I
yeah.
and I was
too.
working with Channel 7. Mate,
Okay.
and you know where they put me? New Norfolk. Down in Tassie. Don, I'm telling you, this is fit. Sam knows this. Mike, you may not know this. Down there, they had an ex-Olympian from the 76 basketball team carry the torch down a side street into the main drag of New Norfolk into a Victorian. Me and the locals weren't happy. I'm the only person in the history to be booed.
Really?
They actually started booing me. I got the torch and they go, boo, go back to Victoria.
Well, you know-
I had Raylene with 3 kids there. Young Riggy walked up. He was only 4. He walked up. He said, Daddy, were they booing you? I said, no, son, my nickname's Boo Boo down That's Phoenix. They actually booed me.
Dougie,
down there.
Dougie, you know who comes from New Norfolk? This is probably the reason. Peter Hudson comes from there.
Oh, could he play?
Why wouldn't they give him the torch?
Exactly. And why don't they give me the torch at the front of the Brabrook Hotel where,
Exactly.
where my statue is?
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't they have given you down the side street of New Norfolk?
Exactly. Don,
No, I carried the torch down in Geelong.
what did you do, Sam? What did you do in Geelong?
What's that?
You did it in Geelong.
Yeah, I carried the torch.
What did you do it in Geelong for?
Well, I was born there and I played for him.
It's a fair point.
And Doug, this is another erroneous entry in Wikipedia. It says you had a guest appearance on Hey Dad and Channel 7 saw it and they cancelled the show immediately. That's what, Mick, am I making that up?
That is not in
All
there.
right, I'm sorry, you go. I'll get
I don't know how you Don. I don't know how Don you go into this. That can't be right, surely.
Go ahead.
Mate, that's can't be right.
He spat the dummy. What do you spat the dummy for?
No, hey,
Who
Dad.
you
that
spat
can't
the
be
dummy?
right.
Have you got a question?
You. No, I'm fascinated by Wikipedia, what he's
Well-
done and what he hasn't.
Hey,
Keep going.
We're getting it up.
Dougie,
Yes, Mike.
you are in the 3 best players that I've seen play at the Bulldogs. And
Who are
that's
the
over-
other 2?
See if you can guess them. Let's see if we can guess them.
Well, you'd guess one.
Who?
Witten.
Did you see him
Oh,
play?
yes.
Yeah. Yes, I did, yeah.
Templeton, Bernie.
Bernie was better at Fitzroy.
All right.
I would say Chris Grant
Oh, yes.
and you. You only won 1 best and fairest. Were you pissed off about that?
Well, it's about finals, as you blokes we all know it's about finals, but
If you're not playing in them, you
no, 84, I got beaten by 1 vote. And I got up and I was announced the winner of the Charlie Sutton medal. Kevin Hillier was the MC, and I got up by 1 vote. I'd beaten Andrew Purser, our ruckman. And I got up. I was in the Bulldog Social Club, matter of fact, the best and fairest, and the votes were done on butcher's paper. It was marked. Gary Merrington and Shane O'Sullivan was marking it down on butcher's paper at the Footscray Social Club in 1984. This was. So I get up and I'm announced as the winner of the Charles Sutton Medal. My first one. I was really rapt. I'm 24 years of age, and I got up and I said, "Well, this is a great honour." And then Shane O'Sullivan or someone said, "Excuse me, there's been maybe a mistake in the voting of the last round here. We need to address the last round, and we'll come back with what we may find out." 5 minutes later, Kevin Hillier gets up and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the new winner of the Charlie Sutton Medal is Andrew Purser. He should have got 3 votes, and he only got the 1 vote. And I got beaten by 1 vote."
What do you mean he only got what?
Well, he should have got 3 votes and only marked 1 or something on the paper. So I got
you can't do that.
Well, they did that, Don. They actually did that. And
So
I
they
got,
took it off you.
And I got beaten by 1
But
vote.
hang on, that you can't do. So the coaches actually after each game put down their
Correct.
votes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So how can you go back weeks later and say we made a mistake?
They went back to the last round and said something like he should have got 3 and only gave him 1. And Purser got up and he beat me by a vote. And then the next year, 85, when Brad Hardy won the Brownlow, and terrific player Brad.
What?
What was that?
He's as loose as a goose.
I don't think he agrees with you,
player.
Dougie.
Won the Brownlow, Don.
Oh, jeez, there's a lot of bad players that won the Brownlow.
Bad player.
No, I take your point, Don. I take your point. A lot of ordinary players who've
He's a
played
great player, Brad Hardy.
good games in their life.
What's sorry, Don?
Did Hardy beat you?
No, I won the best and fairest in 85. The next year when we got beaten by Hawthorn by
Doug,
10 points in the prelim. I had a
if
good
I
final
may-
series in 85. You know that, Mike.
Yeah.
If I may, Doug, just in case, quoting from Wikipedia.
This would be good.
Live and Kicking also had a guest appearance on the episode of Hey Dad playing the role of Betty's husband. The episode never made it to air and the show was abruptly cancelled by the 7 Network. And then it says here,
This is crap.
then it says here, where's
Don,
the
this
queer
is crap.
thing?
This
It
can't
says
be right.
live in
Hey
football.
Dad, I've
don't-
never
Hey,
watched
Dad.
an episode of Hey
Just a
Dad.
minute, where does it say about the queer thing?
Who was that bloke on Hey Dad? What was his name? Robert someone. What was his name?
He was a
trouble, didn't
pedophile, wasn't
Is
he?
he in trouble, is he?
He got into
Where's
trouble,
it?
didn't he?
Personal life.
Hey, you know in that final series you're talking about, Dougie, you playing on a wing, which
yes.
you always did.
Sorry, Mick, I just finished.
We're
Found
talking football here.
Hawkins was recently named as guest judge at the Melbourne Queer Film Festival. Now, I'm just saying that was on the Wikipedia.
Well, I read the same thing, yeah.
I know, so Doug's disputing anything.
Disputing
that
it,
he's
John.
done.
Well, you had
Sam, it's rubbish, Sam.
you had 88 possessions in 3 finals games.
88.
88.
That's 30. Nearly
And
30
you had
a game.
38 against North Melbourne. You weren't playing on Shimmer or Keith Gregg, were you?
No, I was playing on Andrew Demetrio.
Oh,
Andrew
did he get cleared
Demetrio.
to Hawthorn the next year, did he?
He wasn't a bad player, Andrew Demetrio, number 28 at North.
You
John
were-
Holt.
Yeah, I remember.
John
John Holt.
That
The left
day,
footer,
I'm
yeah.
not being smart, Mike. I got half a dozen that day.
You had half what?
Half a dozen players come across to me because you ever have a day where the ball just comes.
Yeah.
You
and
had
it
a lot
keeps
of
coming.
them. I want to ask you this: Flower, Turner, Schimmelbusch, Gregg, De Pier, Domenico. Who did you least like playing against?
Robert Flower was just magnificent. Great balance, both sided, good courage, fair. Never said anything wrong. Dipper was very, very. Matter of fact, we're born the same day, me and Dipper, May the 5th. He'll be 62. I'll be 60. Greg Norman's born the same
I'm
day.
born on
as
the
well.
same day as Jennifer Hawkins. I am.
So Mike,
Born on her.
Robbie Flower was a fantastic player.
Shimmer wasn't,
Dipper-
Shimmer wasn't a wingman. He was a half
Well,
forward.
he
he
played a little
lot
bit
on the
there,
wing.
Donny.
One
He
of
played a
the
little
greats.
bit there.
Yeah.
Greg was my hero. I followed North Melbourne as a kid.
Keith, yeah.
So Keith Gregg was my hero. 73, 74 back to back. Just
Shimmer
a
and
fantastic
Gregg, what
player.
players?
Turner and Barham.
Yeah, Turner and Barham. Brian Wood was a terrific player.
Yeah,
Oh,
Brian
yeah,
Wood.
Brian
Jeff
Wood.
Cunningham was fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
There was some terrific wingmen going back. The late
Couldn't
Merv
kick
Nagel.
though,
Merv
Cunningham.
Nagel. Merv Nagel, fantastic player.
Whose idea was it for you to play?
Mick's. Mick Moldhouse said,
To play on the
wing.
same wing
Well-
all the time.
Yeah. Mick Malthouse, 84 it was.
The rationale was what?
Well, we played Fitzroy in the wet. It was a little bit wet that day, and that the ground sort of sloped across to the E.J. Smith stand, which is the opposite stand to the E.J. Witten stand, and that side of the ground was always a little bit damp. So the first quarter, I've had about 15 or 16 touches. And Mick come in at quarter time, he said, listen, Hawk, stay out in that wing. Mickey Madge, stay over here. So anyway, half time I come in, I've had a stack of the footy. He said, listen, you're staying there again in the third quarter. So the whole game I played on the outer wing. And then for some stupid reason, every ground I went to, including the MCG and Waverley, I played on the outer wing. At every ground. I don't know why it was. I had very rarely played on the E.J. Witten side grandstand where it was a bit more drier. I played that outer wing since that game against Fitzroy in 84. Mick Malthouse made that decision.
How did you play Footscray? I reckon it was the worst ground in the league, bar.
You didn't like the ground, Don?
Hated it.
What did you hate about it? The wind and the...
I thought the narrow wings, it was long, the wind, it was hard.
Narrow. What about the ground you played on every other week?
I'm with you, Don.
It was the worst.
No, I'm with you.
The dressing
I
rooms.
hated going to Footscray.
Visitors' dressing
not to
rooms
Footscray.
were cold, uninviting. It was the worst ground, bar none.
Yeah, well, I take your point, Don.
You agreed, did you?
I do.
Well, where did you put Hawthorn? Where did you put Glenferrie Oval?
Well,
it was a bog track, narrow.
No, hang on, it was
more intimate.
Well done, Don. It was more intimate, and the train used to go there, and Kanga Kennedy could actually almost go on the ground. He'd shout in your ear, and it was just different. But Footscray was remote out there, and it was. But
and supporters were very friendly, Sam. Don,
No, it had nothing with the supporters. They were
just
terrific,
the ground and environment.
Just the ground, the whole thing, driving out there trying to find a car park.
No,
shit.
that's
even trying to find the bloody
that's correct, Don.
Well,
Thank
you didn't get a car park.
Oh, no, you park in the side street, but I didn't. I never went out there. I couldn't find the ground.
No, Don, please. We found it because
you drove past it down Geelong Road.
And I knew where it was,
suburbs.
Don. I knew where it was. I had a Melways, and I thought, that's it there. Now, Doug.
Yes, Sam.
So in latter years, I've got a feeling you're a bit ticked off with Footscray hierarchy. You've been snubbed a little down there, or is that not right? You've offered your services in various departments and with scant regard, or am I got that wrong? Are you treated well down there now?
No, I'm involved in the men's health program.
Good.
At the Bulldogs. Mm-hmm. And that's about it.
What's the
That's it, Sam.
No,
sometimes you don't get
Don
invited
made
or to be a part of it.
A very good point last week or the week before about Pat Cash, Greg Williams, who was the other one? About people who have a lot to offer. Shane Warne, a lot to offer.
Some people like you, Sam.
Are not taken credibly.
Some people like you.
I put you in that book too.
Yes, I'm good on you.
Some people like you, some people don't like you.
Yes.
Well, but give them some names.
You got me going, are you?
Peter Gordon, you're not
Well,
happy with him.
I haven't spoken to Peter for 4 years.
Why is that?
Well, he maybe doesn't like me, and maybe I don't like him. Maybe there's just a understanding that you don't have to ring everybody each. We don't, I haven't spoken for 4 years.
So
the grand final on a Sunday is the last time I've spoken, or I've actually seen Peter in person. That's not.
I should know.
It's not
this.
the end of the world, is it? It's not the end of the world for him or me.
I should know this. Are you the games record holder at Footscray?
Yeah, I am.
So you should be.
Footscray, Sam, not Western Bulldogs.
Well,
what's the difference?
Well, you asked me Footscray. You know the difference is, Don?
Yes.
EJ and me didn't play for the Western Bulldogs.
No.
So I'm still the games record holder of the Footscray Football
Who's
Club.
played more games?
Who does the Western Bulldogs?
Is Jono
Sorry?
Who's the Western
Jono?
Bulldogs?
Yeah.
Brad Johnson. Chris Grant passed me after I passed Teddy. Scotty West would be about 324. He passed EJ. But the question was, Sam, am I the Footscray games record holder? Yes, I am.
So what? So you'd think you'd be invited to some of their functions, wouldn't you? Just as a PR exercise, I would have thought. I don't know, Don.
What are you doing, Doug?
Well, no, he's asked me a question.
What do you think?
I said no. I go to the best and fairest. I get invited. I got the second best and fairest medal named after me. Obviously, the great Charlie Sutton.
The seconds one.
It's the second best and fairest is named after me.
Okay. You runner up.
And if I can go to that, I go to it. Don, you don't go to all the Hawthorn functions if you get invited.
He doesn't go to
God,
any.
no, he doesn't go to any. They can't
go to
even
one.
get him to go to make him a legend.
You don't go to.
I don't go to one.
What do you mean, make you a legend? You would have went to that.
No.
You didn't go to it.
No.
They want to make him a legend of the club, but
Why
no,
didn't you go,
he's
Don?
not going.
I couldn't be bothered. Hey, listen.
Couldn't be bothered.
What did you think? You just mentioned. What did
amazing.
you think of the name change? Western Bulldogs, Footscray to Western Bulldogs.
Well, I wasn't keen on it, Don. I wasn't keen on it. I think it was the end of '96. We finished last. '97, I think David Smorgon might have been the president at that stage. Alan Joyce had just been replaced by Terry Wallace, if I can remember correctly. I wasn't that keen on it. I'm a bit old traditionist. And Sam, you still call it Footscray.
I do.
Don, you call
I
it
call
Footscray?
it Footscray.
Yeah.
Yep, no.
So a lot of older people still say Footscray Footy Club or Footscray. You don't call it Western Bulldogs.
You play for Hawthorn, you play for Geelong, but you don't play for a Bulldog. You
Western
play
Bulldogs.
for Footscray.
Is that what you call it, Mike?
No, I call them the Bulldogs.
Oh, because you
Yeah,
have
but
to.
Western Bulldogs or Bulldogs.
Well, just probably Bulldogs.
Yeah, well, that's Footscray
Well, I call-
Bulldogs.
What was your relationship like with Mick? There's conflicting views
Mick
about
Malthouse?
this. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Pretty good or
Yeah, pretty good, Mick. No, we had our ups and downs.
Yeah.
But Mick
give
was
us a
great.
couple of downs, will you?
Mick was great for me
Why?
because he rode me and he pushed me. And the question
that-
that Don,
is that
the
what-
question that Don asked me earlier about, I was a bit of a wild lad and a bit out there and that. And Mick wanted more from me. And he rode me, he pushed me. He got a bloke called Wayne Welsh. Remember Wayne
Yeah,
Welsh?
yeah,
Welsh,
yeah.
he come across. And he rode me a fair bit too. Mick was great for me, and he was great for our footy club. Mick Malthouse changed the culture of the Footscray Football Club. Make no mistake about it.
Okay.
So we had a couple of disagreements, but we got him with the job. At the end of the day, we all know he's the boss. I work for Mick. I'm a player. He's the coach. So just because we don't agree doesn't mean that I'm right or wrong.
Yeah.
We get on with it. So we had a few ups and downs. But if I
that-
see Mick now, we shake hands. We could talk for an hour, me and Mick.
That
Not
time-
a problem.
That team in '85, when you should have beaten Hawthorn, shouldn't you?
Oh, they beat us, Mike, in the qualifying 2 weeks early by 97 points.
Which is the one where Brad Hardy had about 5 kicked on him in 10 minutes?
No, no, that's not correct. I know, Don, that's not correct. Brad had Lee Matthews, the great Lee Matthews, taken from the ground midway. It could have been even late in that first quarter, early in the second quarter. Lee sat on the bench till nearly 3/4 time.
Wow.
But as great champions do, when they're down and under pressure, they bounce back and find something. Lee kicked 3 in that last quarter. I've watched the video. Brad Hardy was outstanding that day, and he was a running, as Don said, he's a loose running back pocket player. That's the way he played. And out of those 3 goals, there was 2 that he got that Brad couldn't have done anything. He just read the ball beautifully, and that was Lee's greatness of reading the ball off the pack.
Is that the day that Brad and Mick had the blue?
No, it wasn't. That was the next year against Carlton out at Waverley in '86. It was late in the year. Brad had a couple of goals kicked on him. The message went to Brad to tighten up. And he said, listen, we're here to try and win this game. And argue whatever else happened there. And then Brad took his jumper off and, he took his jumper off and
As
said
you
to
do.
me,
So what about
he probably should have done
Don
it.
will ask the generic question. What about the game today, mate? Are you captivated by it? What ticks you off about it, and what do you think is going on?
Sam, last year I went to 3 games, and I'll never forget this game. It was Western or Footscray playing Collingwood. It was a 1974 reunion of our past players, which I didn't play that year, but I went along. And I hope
Well, Bernie Quinlan went along.
Bernie was there,
Yeah.
and I hope I'm not talking out of school here, but the great Gary Dempsey, who'd won 7 best and fairest, including the one at North Melbourne, 6 with us, and a Brownlow medal. He said to me, Dougie, I don't like the way the game's played. They kick it sideways and they kick it backwards, and I'm not happy about it 1 inch. And if they start doing that today, I don't think I'll be here too long.
What time did he leave?
5-minute mark of the first quarter, he was out. Demps was gone. Where's Demps? He's gone. And again, I'm sitting there watching it, roof over your head, you're on carpet, and at half time it's 6 goals versus 7. 6 goals versus 7. You're talking about the 89 grand final when there was 44 goals kicked where it was. That was the score at half time. Midway through the third quarter, my wife Raylene said to me, we're going. I said, what do you mean? It's 10 points of difference. She said, you know what she said to me? It's boring. I don't want to watch this. And you know what I said to her? I'm coming with you. And I didn't go to
because you had to, or you...
Well, she was driving, so I'd had a couple of beers. So I said I couldn't start. I was going to jump on the train at 11 o'clock at night.
I used to take my wife everywhere I went. Don, I couldn't bear kissing her goodbye. Now, that's one of Lou's jokes. Doug.
That was the last game I went to.
Now, Doug.
Don.
No, I'm just saying. You're
looking at me and you're saying, Doug.
Well, I'm about to just finish, unless you've got another question, but I'm just going to recap for the record. He did stand for the United Party in 2013. He didn't be a guest judge on Melbourne Queer Film Festival. He was the Father of the Year in 1998. And he wasn't on an episode of Hey Dad. So we've got some of that right and some of it wrong. And what are you going to do for your 60th? Are you having all the Footscray people around and Peter Gordon and everyone's going to sing For He's a Jolly Good Fellow, or are you going to tell people to fuck off?
We're going to go to have it down at the Braybrook Footy Club.
Yep.
We've probably
Where
got
the
about
statue
400 coming. That'll be on May the 5th. So we'll have about 400.
Are we invited?
Yeah, you'll have 400. We've got a big marquee up on the ground
Now
as well.
tell us about the statue there. Go on, you've got a statue. Not many people have a statue after them in their suburb.
I drove past the other day, Don. There was a mask on my face on my statue.
There was
So I
too.
jumped out. I jumped out and I said, what is going on here? And I looked across at Teddy. EJ's there. He's got his statue. He's got a mask on as well.
So did he come from
someone
Braybrook?
loves us. He come from Braybrook, Teddy.
So two of you came from Braybrook. Who else came from Braybrook?
The late Wally Donald, who played in a 54
yeah,
flag.
yeah.
Ray Walker.
Yep.
Georgie Bissett.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yep. Robert
Rod
Groenewegen.
Law.
Robert Groenewegen. Dennis Collins. Late Dennis
Rod
Collins.
Law.
Ivan Marsh. Gary Merrington.
Hey, I've got a sobering message for you,
We've
Dougie.
reduced a lot.
Dougie,
Four members, Donald the Term of the Century.
there's a sobering message for you. You know how old EJ was when he died?
63.
62. Isn't that staggering?
How old, Mike?
62.
Because
Are you
he
sure of
didn't
that?
do anything about it.
No, but I
he
mean, just to
didn't
think
do-
of it now. Like
He was 63, Don, surely.
62 he was.
How do you know that?
Because I checked it up.
It'd be in
Yeah, but he didn't
Wikipedia, Don. Doug. Be in Wikipedia.
Just after he was a judge on the
Wikipedia
gay
means nothing,
film
Sam. You
festival.
know that now.
Yeah, he's on
Yeah,
the
but hang on. Did he
gay-
get tested? EJ Whitten get tested?
No, he didn't, Don. No.
Oh, well.
He
come
ignored
on,
it.
rest
No,
my-
but I'm just making the
Rest
point.
my
that,
case.
Like, he should have had 20 years in front of him, shouldn't he?
He
Yeah,
still
rest
should
my
be with
case.
us today, Mick.
Yes.
How old would he be today?
88, 87.
Wow.
If he's going with his 87, if you're going by 62, I thought he was 63, Mike.
62, Doug.
Was he?
Well, look, let's not quibble
No, he's
over
been cooked, Don. He's been cooked for a good 12 months. He hadn't been 100%.
Thought he was invincible, didn't he?
He did.
Well, no, Don, hang on, Mick. Mike, hang on.
Yep.
We didn't know what it was. Prostate cancer. We didn't know what that was back
Prostate.
then. And what did you say, Sam?
Prostate.
I said prostrate.
No,
State.
no R.
Prostate.
No, I'm not being
Prostate.
smart. No
okay.
R. That's
We
all.
didn't know what it was, Don. We didn't know what it was back then.
Douglas. He was E.J. Whitten, Edward James Whitten, OAM. Born 27 July 33. Died August 17, 95.
So how old is he then?
40.
Well, no, but that's a reasonable question in case his birthday was on
I just
after
gave you
one
his
of
birthdays.
No, and
Born July,
trying to work it out.
Died August.
Okay, just to
Do you know who was his last opponent?
What year
It was
was
against Hawthorn in the wet, 1970 at the Whitten Oval.
That's right.
1970 wet, and we won by
Yes.
less than a kick.
Yours truly picked him up on the half-back flank.
You did, Donny.
I was going so bad, they just had to get me off the ground or out of play. So it's half-back flank, and Whitten came to the half-forward flank.
And a
I
wet
was
ground,
the
wasn't it,
last-
Don? Wet ground.
Shocking ground.
Well,
Shocking
Doug.
day, that too.
Well, Doug,
And we won by less than a kick.
That's Don.
I'm speaking. I'm saying Doug, but I'm looking at you, Don, in case there's one other thing you want to say. But if there's not, Doug, you are, as we say in the industry, an ornament to our game, and you're a much loved person. And we got you in here today because you're turning 60, and we like to speak to the personalities who have made this great game go around. You are certainly one of them. And for what you've had going for you, like Don and me and Mick, you've made the most of it, and we congratulate you for it. And thank you for coming into You Cannot Be Serious.
Good boy, Dougie.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mike. And thank you, Don.
Geez, you got 3 applauses then. You're lucky to get one here, son.
No,
These
Amanda
guys.
Elliott
Oh,
got,
she got
she got
oh,
three.
She got more
Yeah.
than three.
Righto.